Alright, you guys, World's End pay-per-view was actually a filler pay-per-view, like I've said. Now, this pay-per-view just being added on right after Full Gear. This is the first World's End pay-per-view, and I was not expecting much from this. Now, we did have a 20-man Battle Royal match at the pre-show, and the winner of that will be able to go for the TNT title anytime, anywhere. And the last two people in that match was Killswitch and Trent Beretta. And y'all know me. I love Trent Beretta, and I was hoping he was going to win. And unfortunately, Killswitch took the win. And we're going to go into that a little bit more. Now, after that, we do have another pre-show match, but we're not going to go into that. If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube. Now, our first match of the night, we do have Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia versus Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Roosh. So basically the baby faces versus the heels. Now, I actually really liked this matchup. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I did like all the things that was going on here. And I think the weirdest thing that was going on during this match was this little beef going on between Matt Menard and Brody King. It just felt so weird. Something going on between them, and they're over here yelling back and forth with each other during the match while Matt Menard's on commentary. Brody King said, "Oh, you ain't gonna do shit. You're nothing but a bitch," something like that. And then even when the match was over, Brody decked him dead in the face, but the camera didn't catch it. I don't know what that drama was about. I never thought I'd actually want to see Brody King and Matt Menard in a match. However, I'm interested to see if something personal went on between them, or if they're actually gearing towards some kind of match or some kind of little feud with the two of them. I'm actually curious to see what's going to happen. Now, we do have Daniel Garcia, who takes the win, ended up pinning Jay Lethal, and I was just like, damn, y'all really gonna do Jay Lethal like that? But it is what it is. I'm happy for Daniel Garcia. After the match, we do have Daniel Garcia doing his dance, and Mark Briscoe actually does it with him, and it's just the cutest thing ever. This was a really great matchup. I love the fact how they got pretty much all the guys that were in the Continental Classic, put them together in a match. Pretty much the last time we're going to see these guys together in one bunch, and I really did enjoy it. Great opener. Up next, we have one-on-one action with Miro and Andrade El Idolo. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the lack of imagination in this story between the two of them killed it for me. The matches that we've seen with Andrade up until this point were, in my opinion, so much better than what we saw with Andrade and Miro, but it was decent. It was all right. Obviously, we have CJ Perry, who is ringside, who is on the corner of Andrade, and later on switches side and being with her husband, and Miro ends up taking the win with the game over, and Miro's looking shocked. He's like, my wife, she actually loves me? Oh my God. And you know what? It's really interesting to see what's going on there. In the media scrum after the show, Tony Khan doesn't necessarily confirm if Andrade is leaving the company or not, but he does praises the things that Andrade has done in the company, and I have really enjoyed Andrade since he's been back, and if he does go to WWE, I would be sad to see him go. He could have gotten much more success in the company had Tony Khan or AEW really had focused on Andrade, and he could have at least won a title by now, at least the TNT title, something. So it was unfortunate if he is actually going to leave the company. Now after this, we have the women's title on the line. We have Toni Storm versus Riho. I love Toni's character. And if you guys didn't see the media scrum, holy shit, Toni Storm killed it. She even called out Wendy Richter to be her next opponent, and she said she's gonna fuck her up. When she said that, when I tell you, I was in bed and I jumped up and I was just laughing my head off because I thought it was absolutely insane. She's so entertaining. I love her to death. However, the match wasn't all that for me. And like I said, with it being a filler pay-per-view, there's a lot of things that could have just been better. And this is one of those matches that I was hoping to be a little bit better for me. You guys already know Toni Storm does retain the title. We obviously have Mariah May, who comes out with this the bucket you put the champagne in, but there's no champagne in it. It's just a whole bunch of rose petals, and she's throwing them around Toni Storm, and Toni Storm lays onto the mat, and she is just pretty much doing snow angels with the rose petals in the ring. I love seeing her. She's entertaining, but we're gonna have to step it up with some of these matches with these girls. It just really could have been better. Now after that, we have Lexi Nair backstage with Dante Martin. Dante is happy to be back. He's been having a lot of great matches, whether for singles or if it's with trios with Action Andretti and Darius Martin. However, he wants to do some solo stuff too. And then here comes your homeboy, Orange Cassidy, who basically says, you know what? You want a shot at my title? On Dynamite, you and me for the international title. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so we're making a habit out of this now. You're just going to go interrupt people's conversations and then pretty much say, hey, you can go against me for the international title. I'm over it, Orange Cassidy. When is someone else going to get the title? Up next, we have Swerve Strickland versus Dustin Rhodes. Now, Keith Lee was originally supposed to be in this match, but because he has an injury and not cleared, they had to send his ass home. So Dustin was his former tag partner and decides he gonna take one for the homie and does this match in his place. Now, before the bell can even ring, we have Swerve, who already attacks Dustin, and Dustin's pretty much getting escorted by the referees to the back. Now, the thing that was crazy to me was seeing Swerve sitting on the top turnbuckle and everybody's cheering for him. Regardless, face or heel, people love him. And I'm like, this is how being over looks like. Exactly what we're seeing with Swerve. Tony Khan, whatever plans you made for 2024, if it does not involve Swerve winning the world title, you need to make some arrangements to make sure that that's going to happen somewhere down the line. Now, obviously Dustin is like, I ain't no bitch. I might be hurting and I might be in retirement soon, but I need to get back into this to this ring and show everybody that I'm just not some quitter who's just going to go to the back and get some medical attention. And I guess that was a big mistake for him. He gets his ass whooped, obviously, and Swerve ends up taking the win. Now, this wasn't the best match on the card or anything. However, I do think that this match really shows how over Swerve is, regardless of him being a heel or not. And that's what we actually love to see. At the media scrum, he does mention about him being the first black AEW World Champion. And honestly, I can see that happening. And I am just so over the moon to see what's going to happen to Swerve for the rest of this year. Up next, we have another 8-man tag. We have Ricky Starks, Big Bill, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Konosuke Takeshita versus Sammy Guevara, Jericho, and Sting and Darby. If you've been under a rock this weekend, then you might not have heard about some allegations of sexual assault with Chris Jericho, and that played a role in this match in terms of the crowd booing Chris Jericho, who's obviously in the babyface team. There were some chants that were towards the sexual assault allegations or whatnot, and a couple of signs too that I saw. And I'm just going to put it this way: when it comes to things like this, and my experience in terms of trying to stick up for people who may have been in those type of situations, I have learned to just keep my mouth shut. Just because a woman says that something happened to her doesn't mean it really happened to her just because she's a female. And also, just because you love someone like Chris Jericho, or even if it's a family member and you just feel like, oh, I love them, there's no way that they could have done something like this. That's not necessarily true. Everybody is capable of doing horrible things. However, some people are capable of doing even worse things than, most people. So I can't say that Chris Jericho did or did not sexually assault anyone. But what I can say is that, as time goes by, we'll probably find out the truth. If not, I don't know. Now, this match was, whatever. I didn't really care for it. I would have rather seen the AEW tag titles on the line. Ricky and Big Bill versus God knows who, Takeshita or Hobbs, something else. I would have rather seen something else. And also with this, I believe, being Sting's last match in the state of New York, this whole thing with Chris Jericho kind of did put a little bit of damper in the match. So it kind of did take away from what was going on, especially with social media. Everybody's talking about it, and obviously some people in the crowd knowing about it. It did put a little bit of a damper for Sting in this match. Obviously, the babyface team ends up taking the win. However, from now on, Sting, just do your own thing. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. We got like literally 2 months before the Revolution pay-per-view. Let's get started on building that. Up next, we have Julia Hart versus Abaddon for the TBS title. And I love the fact that the fans was chanting, "This is spooky." I loved it. However, I was hoping for a lot more in this match. Matter of fact, I think because of the story as well, they didn't really push the envelope with these two. Two of the most spookiest characters in AEW. They could have really done something imaginative with these two, and they really didn't. And unfortunately, I do think that played a role into this match. Once again, Julia Hart comes out, and Sky Blue comes out and helped Julia for the win. She helps Julia, and then Julia goes for a moonsault, and Lord Jesus, Julia, I love you, girl, but the moonsault was horrible, not good at all. And I know they're not perfect, but when it comes to finishing moves, those turning points in a match, you really want to execute those things perfectly, and unfortunately, it just did not happen for Julia. I really want to see more from Abaddon as well. I hope they don't just tuck her into the shadows. I really do like Abaddon. They're great. Alright, so from here, the show has their best matches. So up next we have Adam Copeland versus Christian for the TNT title. Obviously Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne are ringside. Now Adam comes out first and he is looking like a fucking snack. Lord have mercy. This man looked great. Now, when Christian comes out, Adam said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna whoop your ass, and I'm gonna whoop your ass now, and I'm not gonna wait till you get to the ring." And these guys take the fight all over the damn crowd and the ring and everything. In my opinion, this was my favorite match. It really was. Obviously enjoyed this more than their last match. And in terms of from an emotional standpoint and what they did in the ring, I enjoyed it more than the last two matches. Now, Nick Wayne obviously is ringside, and at first he isn't necessarily putting his hands on Adam. What he's doing is like helping Christian by getting tables, getting chairs, preparing things for him or whatnot. The craziest part in this match, in my opinion, is Christian doing a Boston Crab on our homie Adam while he is sitting on a chair that's on his fucking neck. I couldn't even believe it. I was just like, whoa, this is insane. I loved it. Now, we also do have a part here where Adam slams Nick Wayne onto a burning table, and just thinking about it makes my back hurt. That shit looks like it hurt like crazy. A lot of hardcore elements in this match, which these two are no stranger to. But when I'm watching this, I'm just like, these guys are in their early 50s, and they're putting on a show like this. All you young cats in the back better take some fucking notes. These two are amazing. Now, we do have Adam taking the win with a kill switch, and that's what I wanted Adam to do the last match that they had together, because Christian kept hitting a lot of his moves in the first match that they had, but this time finally we get Adam with a kill switch for the win. And bro, he wasn't even a winner for less than, a whole minute, and here come kill switch just lurking up behind Adam. And I'm just like, oh shit. I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna go for it, but don't be successful. But I don't know, get another opportunity some other time, whatever. Now he comes out and he is ready to cash in his moment for the TNT title. Now he has this little contract thing that he's giving to the referee. However, Christian comes out and said, "Bitch, give me the damn contract." And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding. Let me just say, watching it the first time, I was not sure what I thought about this, because obviously Killswitch has been getting the short end of the stick for quite some time dealing with Christian. And after watching it another time, I was just like, you know what? This is a setup for something much bigger. Let's just be patient and see. However, Killswitch does end up giving Christian a contract. Christian signs it, and Christian cashes it in. and he ends up taking the win, and now he's a TNT champion again. Absolutely insane. Yo, I don't know where this story is going, but Luchasaurus, Killswitch, whatever your name is, get a grip. Up next, we had the Continental Classic Finals. We had Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. This was another really great match. However, it was very predictable at this point that Eddie Kingston was going to not only retain the Ring of Honor title, the New Japan title, but also win the AEW Continental Classic. Now, I was not surprised about this at all, and I think the predictability kind of ruined it for me, but they still do have a really great match. Definitely one of the top 3 matches on this pay-per-view. Now, I was a little upset that after Eddie had won, him and Moxley hugged it out or whatever. They're cool or whatever. But these bitches didn't even get a good shot of the Continental Classic title. Like, why didn't we see the Continental Classic title? I don't know. Like, the way that they showed it, Eddie was holding it briefly or whatever, and they should have showed it before. We've been waiting to see this title for a few months now, and we just didn't get a good look at it. So, I don't know. The next time we see Eddie, we might get a chance to see a really good shot of the Continental Classic title, whatever y'all calling it. However, I still believe that it's a little unclear as to what happens now. Whoever wins it, what do they do? They just defend one title at a time from now? What happened next year? Whoever holds that title next year is going to be the one to kind of put the title on the shelf for the tournament. I don't know. We need some more details as in what happens now. Now, let's talk about this main event because, things got crazy. Main event time, we had MJF versus Samoa Joe. MJF, you must come back. I love you. But when he came out and took off that loud ass robe he was wearing, I'm just looking at him. I'm just like, bro, you need a vacation. If you lost this, it's probably a good thing for you. He doesn't look that great, but if you're a champion and you're reigning, defending, it's possible that you will look pretty banged up. Now, before the match starts, we actually have your boy Adam Cole who comes out. So he's ringside for moral support. In this match, while I did enjoy it, we did have the typical ref bumps, and I'm just like, oh, why every time we need this? Same thing with WWE too. It's like, can we just use our imagination and come up with something else? We have Adam Cole who's trying to help his bestie cheat, obviously by having the Dynamite ring and giving it to MJF to help him win. However, that's not enough. Now we have Samoa Joe taking the win with a coquina clutch. I'm not surprised, and actually I was happy about it because I really do see Samoa Joe to be a champion material, especially someone with the AEW World title. So I was totally okay with that. I probably wasn't cheering or anything, but I was just like, okay, good, he won. Now, Samoa Joe ain't got time to celebrate with y'all. He has to go. So he goes to the back. And then we have Adam Cole who comes in and he's trying to support his bestie. He's consoling him, making sure everything all right with him. And then here comes the 4 masked men surrounding the ring. They end up holding down Adam Cole. They hold down MJF. And one of them is holding a chair. And Adam Cole is like, no, hit me. Leave him alone. Leave my bestie alone. I don't want you to hit him. I love him so much. Please. And then whoever it is that was with the chair turns around and act like they were about to hit Adam Cole. But then the lights cut off. And I'm just like, holy shit. The masked person is about to come out. There's just no other reason for the lights to go off unless they're not paying bills over there at the arena. So then the lights turns on. And Adam Cole, this bitch Adam Cole, is sitting on the chair. And I was just like, you know what? I like the way y'all did that. I love the way they did that. And then the other guys are standing behind Adam. And then MJF just looks shook as fuck. I'm a little shook too. It's not that I'm surprised that it was Adam Cole. I just love the way that they executed that part. Now, then here comes the other guys end up taking off their masks. And obviously, Roderick Strong, The Kingdom, and Wardlow. No, I know. Wardlow kind of seems a little random. But think of everything that's happened with MJF and Wardlow. So I guess it makes sense, but it's just like Wardlow, once again, a supporting character and not necessarily taking the lead. Who's surprised at this point? Now look, at this point, MJF has been removed from the AEW roster. Obviously, they're fucking with us. I don't believe MJF is going anywhere. Obviously, it's supposed to be the bidding war of 2024. They want us to believe that it's possible that MJF can leave and go to WWE. However, I don't believe that at all. MJF, get well, stay home, get laid, get better, maybe get a movie role or something, and come back to AEW some point this year. He absolutely deserved it. He had an amazing year with AEW. However, I have to say this too. A lot of people shitted on this pay-per-view for not being that great. Like I said, this was a filler pay-per-view. However, AEW cannot have perfect pay-per-views or damn near perfect pay-per-views every single time. You know, they're just not going to hit the nail right on the head every single time. And, you know, I could appreciate everyone coming together and put their best foot forward, but this was definitely not one of their best pay-per-views this year. But there was a lot of things to enjoy on the show. But guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back on Wednesday with Dynamite. Bye.